Now at 9, Joplin's century-old Memorial Hall could be saved from demolition. A look at the latest preservation plan. Plus, an off-duty deputy shoots a suspect on his own property in McDonald County.
President Trump says all the money collected in tariffs could be arriving in some Americans' mailboxes. But how soon would that happen? I'm Mark Meredith at the White House. We'll take a closer look coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Joplin's Memorial Hall is one step closer to a full restoration. This is KOAM News. I'm Tanya Bach. Tonight, the City Council voted to move forward with a memorandum of understanding with the community group Friends of Memorial Hall, allowing the group to continue developing its plan to restore the 100-year-old landmark. KOAM's Blake Goley has the latest on what this means moving forward.
I'm standing outside this 100-year-old venue with deep roots within the Joplin community. And the Friends of Memorial Hall want that legacy to continue, and they're asking the Joplin City Council to back their plan to restore it. Inside the council chambers, the Friends of Memorial Hall laid out a detailed roadmap showing how they believe the building can be saved through a public-private partnership that taps into tax credits and community fundraising.
It's a community asset. It's a community icon. It's one of the things that it's been here, and why tear it down when we can make a new use for it?
Council members questioned the cost and the workload, but supporters rose to the occasion, addressing each concern. They also reminded the council of the building's long-standing ties to the Joplin veteran community.
It was those veterans that wanted to develop a memorial here in Joplin to honor their friends and fellow soldiers that died in the war. And they're actually the ones that raised the money to build Memorial Hall originally. And so it's kind of been our home for about the last 100 years, and we'd love to see it restored and get back to where we can get back into the building.
After answering questions from the council, they voted to move forward with the proposal. Reporting in Joplin, Blake Gully, KOAM News.
Tonight's approval is just one step in what could be a long process to bring the building back to life. For a full breakdown of the group's restoration plan, you can find those details on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. We're learning more about Sunday's officer-involved shooting in McDonald County that sent 2 people to the hospital. Off-duty McDonald County Deputy Mike Hall discovered an abandoned car on his property just south of Powell on Highway E. Investigators say Hall approached the car and identified himself as a deputy. A man in the vehicle pulled out a handgun and shot Deputy Hall in the leg. Hall returned fire, striking the man multiple times. The suspect remains in critical condition. Deputy Hall is recovering at home. Investigators say the car was stolen from the Dallas area. And authorities in Newton County are investigating a death after receiving a call of a shooting Saturday morning. Deputies responded to a rural home and found a man dead from an apparent gunshot wound. They identified him as 51-year-old Ernest Darby. The investigation is ongoing and an autopsy has been scheduled for later this week. In Kansas, the KBI is investigating an officer-involved shooting in Osage County that left 1 suspect dead and 4 officers injured. Authorities responded to a domestic disturbance call Saturday morning at a Topeka home. That's where officers encountered 22-year-old Stephen McMillan outside, and an exchange of gunfire followed. 3 deputies and 1 trooper were shot. McMillan's grandfather was also hit by gunfire. Injured officers and grandfather are expected to recover. McMillan died at the scene. And a McCune, Kansas man is sentenced today for the shooting death of his grandson. John Fox pled guilty last month to voluntary manslaughter and criminal discharge of a firearm in the case. The charges were reduced from second-degree murder as part of a plea deal. The victim, 28-year-old Ian Fox, had been shot to death in August of 2023 while visiting relatives in McCune. A judge today sentenced John Fox to a little more than 6 years in prison. Meteorologist Donald O'Keefe joins us now with a first look at weather.
It was a bit windy out there, as you can see from our wind track. We still have some winds out there, about gusting to 15 to 20 miles an hour if there isn't any fires at this moment. Definitely not helping, but the relative humidity looks pretty good right now as well. pretty much 80% out there. So hopefully that should keep some of those fires at bay and maybe feel a little bit on the more humid side for today and also into tomorrow as well. Also, the winds are going to be sticking around. You can see for tomorrow morning, winds going to be gusting up to about 20, 25, maybe even 30 miles an hour as well. So it's still going to be on the gusty side for tomorrow. Right now, not much going on. However, there is a chance we could see a rain shower later on tonight, maybe about midnight, 1 o'clock. As you can see out here, not much going on for any showers at the moment, but there's some rain showers popping up later this evening. But our temperatures are looking pretty good out there right now, mid-60s across most of the area with that nice southerly flow of wind. But I'll have a check of those with more rain chances later this week coming up.
All right, thank you, Donald. Well, firefighters are keeping an eye on smoldering spots from a wildfire that was contained this morning southwest of Joplin. The slow-moving grass fire covered about 2 acres in the 2600 block of South Adele. Joplin and Reddings Mill fire departments responded to the blaze. Fire officials say no structures were threatened, and firefighters are reminding residents to use caution with outside burning, especially when conditions favor fire spread. And officials at Mark Twain National Forest say a wildfire there is growing and has now burned 1,200 acres. The blaze is burning about 6 miles northeast of Seligman, about 3/4 of a mile up Highway 112 from Fire Tower Road. The Forest Service deployed 3 engines and 2 dozers to suppress the fire. Firefighters are using a drone to coordinate their response efforts. Now, smoke is visible from nearby towns and Roaring River State Park. This time, officials say no structures face immediate threats. Well, coming up, a different approach.
President Trump does a 180 and now wants Republicans to vote to release the Epstein files. I'm Rebecca Castor with the details coming up.
But up first, holiday travelers face increased risk of seasonal illness. How to avoid getting sick. Travelers get relief today as the FAA lifts all flight restrictions from the government shutdown. Normal operations resumed at airports nationwide after 10 days of reduced schedules. The FAA kept cuts in place for several extra days to allow airports time to bring their staffing back. The timing helps travelers preparing for Thanksgiving week. However, another potential shutdown looms when temporary funding expires January 30th. Well, this Thanksgiving, a record 81.8 million Americans are expected to travel, with nearly 90% of them hitting the road by car. AAA Kansas advises drivers to check their car's battery and tires and to plan ahead to avoid peak traffic on Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons. Well, as families prepare for Thanksgiving by traveling and gathering together, health experts are reminding folks about the increased risk of illness during holiday celebrations. Nick Kelly spoke with a Southwest Missouri doctor to get tips on how to stay healthy while spending time with loved ones.
While J.D. Buckridge doesn't usually travel for Thanksgiving, he's ready to welcome family to his home in Clever.
Typically, everyone comes to me and we do the big spread and very traditional and we just have a good time.
His kids will be some of the over 81 million people AAA says will travel for Thanksgiving this year, 73 million by car and at least 6 million by plane. Mercy Dr. Sammy Hurry says while cold air itself does not cause someone to get sick, there is a correlation with colder months, big gatherings, and enclosed forms of travel.
Even though they may not be sick, they may have a virus that they have on them. They cough, they sneeze, they touch a surface, and then you happen to touch it or breathe in that virus, you could get sick. But yes, so certainly closed areas with high contact of other people, you're at increased risk for sure.
Dr. Hurry says to stick to the basics to reduce your risk of a severe illness or infection. If it's right for you, consider getting vaccinated for the flu, RSV, or COVID-19. Keep up with regular exercise and a healthy diet with nutrients like vitamin C and zinc to maintain a healthy immune system. If flying, consider an N95 mask to prevent breathing in anything nasty. If you still end up getting sick, Dr. Hurry wants people to play it safe.
You got the holidays, you want to be with family members, but especially those high-risk members, you want to try to avoid being around them if you are sick. So that's going to be the very young and the very old who are at increased risk.
As for JD, he's had to deal with a few holidays with health risks.
When COVID season was here and it was strong, we stayed in like a lot of people did, but we did still gather as a family and we made sure that we were safe.
For now, his Thanksgiving guests are looking good.
Everyone is healthy and safe, and so we're very blessed.
Well, if you're unsure about what steps to take for yourself, from vaccinations to preventative steps to stay healthy, don't be afraid to reach out to your doctor. Christmas is coming. Well, a study published in JAMA found a sharp increase this year in MMR vaccination rates among children under the age of 2. The U.S. recently experienced its worst measles outbreak in decades, with more than 1,000 cases, primarily among the unvaccinated. And a quarter of veterans and military members who start therapy for post-traumatic stress disorder quit before they finish treatment. Researchers from Idaho State University study found cognitive processing therapy and prolonged exposure therapy had the highest dropout rates, and group-based exposure therapy had a lower dropout rate. PTSD affects about 7% of veterans and can raise the risk of heart disease and stroke. Eating ultra-processed foods increases colorectal cancer risk in women under 50. A new JAMA study shows women who get more than a third of their calories from processed foods face a 45% higher risk. Well, Donald is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, AI reshapes holiday shopping but brings new challenges for stores and workers.
Turned out to be a pretty nice day today. If you want to take a look at the Skywatch storm tracker, not a lot going on right now in our area. There is that surface low up there in western Nebraska. You can see that's bringing in some rain there by St. Louis. And there could also bring in some more rain chances later on this evening into the overnight. We actually have that circled right now. So this area could see a storm about 11 a.m. to about 1 p.m. or 1 a.m., but not too strong of a storm, but there still is a chance that we can see some rain later on this evening. Our winds are still out there pretty strong as well. We're seeing still some wind gusts about 15, 20, maybe even 20 miles an hour at this, 25 miles an hour at this point, and it's going to stick around for the next couple days or so. For tomorrow at 6 a.m., there's going to be some more winds getting 15, 20, maybe 25, maybe even 30 miles an hour for wind gusts. And if there's any fires out there, that definitely doesn't help, but there is going to be pretty high humidity as well for our area over the next couple days. So hopefully that should help. But the winds eventually by Wednesday, through late Tuesday into Wednesday, they'll start to die down a little bit, and you'll also see a nice wind shift as well. All right, let's take a look at those rain chances for tonight and through tomorrow as well. So there's those showers we're seeing about midnight. They could come through our area. They'll push off to the east pretty quickly, and then we'll see 6 a.m. pretty nice temperatures as you're getting up in the morning, low to mid 60s for our area. And then we're going to get to about 70, 71, 72 degrees by about the noon hour across most of the area. And we're going to see mostly nice clear skies getting up to about 75, 73 to about 75, maybe even 77 for some of the warmer areas down south, but a pretty nice overall Tuesday. And then we progress through Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Some clouds are going to start to build in. You can see that wind shift. We're going to see winds out of the northwest now. A little bit on the cooler side for our Wednesday morning, about mid 40s, maybe about 48 as you're getting up and getting out the door. Mostly cloudy skies, and there's going to be another system that's going to push through Wednesday that could possibly increase some rain chances by Thursday morning. You can see right here about 2 a.m. another round of rain will come in for our Thursday about 7 a.m. but on the cooler side as well. But for your day planner for Joplin, 7 a.m. getting up to 66 degrees for tomorrow, 73 degrees by 12, nice sunny skies, warming up to about 78 degrees for our highs. Not too bad. Our Cornell, an arts and entertainment complex, pretty nice night, even though it was a little bit breezy, but not too bad. All right, let's talk about this weekend and how much we're going to see for rain. So this is Thursday. There's a lot of rain, not seeing temperatures about 60, maybe 65, pushing through Friday. That rain lingers around through the day. Then by about Friday night into Saturday, it dries out. Saturday and Sunday look pretty good as we progress through our weekend, but then there's another round of rain that we're going to see Monday afternoon and through the evening as well, cooling things down just a little bit, but still upper 60s. Not a bad couple of days, but we are so this is the rain tracker for that first system Wednesday through Friday, so not next week. So we can see some areas seeing about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches with that, and it's actually going to be pretty decent for our weekend. So let's get to our 10-day here. We're going to see 74 degrees for tomorrow, 72 for Wednesday, and then those rain chances increase, possibly some thunder showers associated with that for Thursday and also Friday, but a pretty nice weekend ahead of us too.
Yeah, I mean, these temperatures have been great, and we need some rain now.
Yeah, we definitely need the rain.
We definitely do. All right, thanks, Donald. Well, the Joplin YMCA launches a public campaign to raise $2.5 million for a major facility renovation. The plan moves the children's section from the back of the building to the front and adds dedicated children's bathrooms. The renovation also includes new equipment for the weight room. The west side of the weight room will feature full windows overlooking the Tin Cup Trail.
We're here for community, so they've been here for us. We are almost 130 years old here in Joplin. The YUSA overall is 175 years old, so to be a staple in this community and have had the support.
The construction phase is set to start in January and will last about 7 months. Coming up next, AI and holiday shopping.
AI shopping chatbots could make the holiday season naughty or nice. I'm Eben Brown in Miami. I'll have that story straight ahead.
The busy holiday shopping season is already underway, and shoppers are leaning into AI in a big way this year. Fox's Eben Brown has more in this edition of our Fox on Tech series.
It seems to start earlier every year. The busy holiday shopping season is kicking off, and we're already seeing a big shift in retail behavior thanks to artificial intelligence. The professional services company Accenture says its annual survey shows 8 in 10 consumers plan to use AI tools for holiday shopping, and retailers are taking note.
It's able to draw across, the huge range of information out there and explain things to shoppers in very simple and understandable terms. And I think that human nature of AI as a tool is the thing that's driving that huge step up in usage.
But with all that new technology comes new frustration. Shopper stress is intensifying this year, with some 85% of customers saying they're feeling overwhelmed with too many choices. But experts say the new AI tools can actually help streamline those options.
It's helping them with resolving this question around having overwhelming decisions, raising their level of confidence they're actually choosing the right things.
And of course, what happens online is having a big impact on brick and mortar stores. A growing number of frontline workers are reporting burnout and fatigue, mostly because of angry or impatient customers. And with more consumers doing their shopping online, retailers are concerned about worker retention.
Bear a thought for frontline retail workers this year.
Overall, shoppers aren't planning on slowing down this holiday season. Almost 9 out of 10 of them plan to spend at least what they spent last year on holiday shopping. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
The Ford Motor Company unveils its new high-tech world headquarters building in Dearborn, Michigan. The roughly 2 million square foot structure has offices, design studios, and a food hall with 7 restaurants. It sits just 3 miles away from the company's old headquarters, which is set to eventually be demolished. Now, Ford has not disclosed the cost of the new building, though the car maker is expected to finish its move there in 2027. Coming up next, the Neosho School District earns a $5,000 grant for student excellence.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. As the Supreme Court weighs whether to uphold the Trump administration's tariffs, the president is teasing rebate checks from collected revenue, though it will have to pass several hurdles before it could happen. Fox News correspondent Mark Meredith has more.
The White House wants to reassure Americans the U.S. economy is top of mind as the Trump administration considers multiple ways to boost the U.S. consumer. President Trump says one idea still under review, sending out $2,000 rebate checks to lower and middle income Americans. But it's an idea officials say is still a work in progress.
We will see. We need legislation for that. That would be for working families. We'll have an income limit. Those could go out.
Some lawmakers are skeptical of the idea.
How do we make sure that life is more affordable in general? That's an expensive way of doing that versus making sure that we've got a reasonable taxation level that allows people to go and small businesses to go and be successful.
The White House says the payments may come in several forms, including additional tax cuts, but don't expect a check anytime soon. The president says it won't happen until next year at the earliest.
We have a lot of money from tariffs. If we didn't have tariffs, this nation would be in serious trouble.
And the money sitting in government coffers may not be there long. The Supreme Court is deciding whether the president has the authority to issue sweeping tariffs without congressional approval.
The Trump tariffs are causing costs on everyday Americans to increase by thousands of dollars per year. This is an affirmative effort to make life more expensive for the American people.
If the court rules against the White House, the government may be forced to return billions of dollars in collected revenue. In Washington, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
The Trump administration's latest round of sweeping immigration raids are moving through Charlotte, North Carolina. Federal agents raided job sites and parking lots there over the weekend, arresting dozens of people in what they're calling Operation Charlotte's Web. The raids were met with protests and objections from local leaders in a city that prides itself on welcoming immigrants. Charlotte is the 5th U.S. city to see such a Border Patrol presence. DHS says it plans to target New Orleans next. Well, ahead of tomorrow's critical vote in Congress, President Trump now says Republicans should release all of the Jeffrey Epstein files. It's a reversal to what the president has been saying for months now. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has the latest from Washington.
After months of pressure, House lawmakers will take a vote Tuesday that could ultimately force the Department of Justice to release everything it has on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
I will be voting for it, but to be clear, I think that the American people understand that right now, everything that the Democrats have tried to say that, Trump was somehow implicated is completely false.
President Trump maintains he knew nothing about Jeffrey Epstein's crimes, despite the two of them being friends for a time. During his campaign, Trump supported releasing the Epstein files, but then flipped, calling the investigations a Democrat hoax and slamming Republicans pushing for their release. But tired of Epstein dominating the news, he's flipped again and wants Republicans to vote to release.
And I hate to see that deflect from the great job we've done. We have nothing to do with Epstein, the Democrats do.
This is clearly a jujitsu move by the president in his continued cover-up of these files. He is already under a legal obligation to produce these files to Congress and has not complied with the subpoena.
With the DOJ re-examining the Epstein case, the president also wants prosecutors to take a closer look at Democrats who spent time with Epstein.
We're going to continue to find out if there's anybody responsible, anybody that hasn't been held accountable. And if they're out there, we'll find them.
Even if the House votes to release the files, it's unclear if the Senate will do the same. And ultimately, President Trump still has veto power. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, Donald is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, meet the 11-year-old who spent a year collecting toys for others. Riley's generosity ahead.
Turned out to be a pretty nice day today. If we want to look at the Skywatch storm tracker, you can see some swirl going on up there by Nebraska. That's that rain that was kind of pushing through a little bit. You can see right there some rain out there just east of St. Louis, and there is a chance that we could see a little bit of pop-up showers later on this evening for us. Actually, just in the area right here, we could see maybe showers about 11 to about 1 o'clock for us. So I mean, we're just going to keep an eye on that as the night progresses. But also, we got some wind out there as well. You can see gusts about 20 up to about 20 miles an hour. So winds are starting to calm down a little bit over the evening time into the nighttime, but winds are going to stick around. We're looking at tomorrow about 6 o'clock. We're going to see wind gusts about 25, maybe even getting up to 30 miles an hour. So definitely going to be on the windier side. But as we progress through Tuesday into Wednesday, those winds are going to start coming down. You can see a little bit of a wind shift now coming out of the north. So windy for the next couple of days, but there is a system that will be pushing through. There's those rain showers that I was talking about for that area about midnight or so, maybe 1 a.m. And those will quickly push off to the east. And then by Tuesday morning, we'll see temperatures in the lower 60s. It'll feel pretty good. Tuesday at noon, we're going to see temperatures up in the low 70s, maybe even up to the 75 mark as well. We're going to get up to about 77 degrees for tomorrow, 78 degrees. It's going to be a pretty nice sunny day. We're going to progress through Tuesday. Pretty nice day for us. And as we get to Wednesday morning, on the cooler side as you're waking up, about mid 40s, some clouds are going to start to build in through Wednesday. And that's when those showers are going to start building in by about Wednesday night. You can see progressing through the evening time, there's some of the showers popping up by Thursday 2 a.m. So possibly some rumbles of thunder associated with those, and those will continue through into Thursday morning as well, about 7 a.m. on the cooler side behind those. So, but for tomorrow for Joplin, 66 degrees at 7 a.m., nice sunny skies getting up to 73 at noon, getting up to about 78 degrees. So it's going to be a pretty nice day despite it being a little bit on the windier side. Take a look at downtown Joplin, Cornell, and Arts and Entertainment Complex. Pretty nice night. Those winds are starting to calm down. So, I mean, it's a little bit late, but if you like to go out for a late night walk, it's not a bad idea. All right, let's talk about those rain showers coming in this week for the later part of this week. So Thursday, there's the rain shower. It's going to be, like I said, on the cooler side. That rain is going to linger until we get to Friday morning. Well, again, could see some rumbles of thunder, hear some rumbles of thunder associated with that. Those will linger through Friday. And as we get to Friday night into Saturday, you can see we start to clear out. It's going to be a pretty nice weekend on the cooler side, but not too bad. And then there's that next wave of rain that's going to come in Monday afternoon and be there for about Tuesday. And then we're going to dry out a little bit by our Tuesday afternoon. So this is the rain accumulation for this upcoming Wednesday through Friday. Some areas could see about 1.5 inches to maybe 2 inches, so rain is definitely going to be needed right now. Take a look at our 10-day. We're going to say 74 for tomorrow, nice and sunny on the breezier side, 72 Wednesday. Rain chances increase, possibly some thunderstorms Thursday, but then our weekend looks pretty good, even though on the slightly cooler side, but I would take the rain right now. We definitely need it.
Mm-hmm. And then it should be dry for the weekend, so even better.
Most definitely.
The temperatures for the weekend, I mean, you cannot complain about that in November.
No,
that's
60,
for sure.
64 on Sunday looks pretty good and nice and sunny.
I like it. Thank you, Donald.
Of course.
Well, if you're ever looking for information on events right here in the 4 states, but don't know where to turn, we've got you covered. This handy QR code will take you straight to the events page of our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Just scan it with your phone, and you'll find information on all kinds of family fun events. Still ahead, a Pitt State athlete earns MIAA honors for the 2nd straight week. Plus, the Gorilla soccer team finds out if they clinched a spot in the NCAA tournament. Ben McLeish has those stories and more up next in sports. Compass Academy Network awards the Neosho School District $5,000 for excellence in student development. The organization presented the partner grant this evening, recognizing the district's dedication to student growth. 28 Neosho students took part in the free 4-week program this past summer. 20 students graduated with perfect attendance and earned Walmart gift cards for school supplies. Now, the grant supports middle school initiatives.
We'd like to be here for years to come and be here each summer with Neosho Public Schools and look to expand the size of our cohort here so that we serve more and more students.
Definitely. It is a very fun program, and it helps people with like confidence and like getting ready for school. It's just a very good program.
Compass Academy Network operates summer programs focusing on decision-making, mathematical reasoning, creative writing, and communication skills across rural sites in Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. President Trump considers $2,000 rebate checks from tariff revenue. The details ahead. And a flip on the Epstein files as Congress prepares for a critical vote.
On Saturday, Pitt State football took on rival Northwest Missouri with a share of the MIAA title on the line. Let's take a closer look at the Gorillas' regular season finale.
Since the dawn of college football, nothing hits quite like a rivalry game.
There's no bones about it. It is a big game.
On Saturday, Pitt State and Northwest Missouri reignited what many consider the greatest rivalry in Division II football.
Anytime you play Northwest Missouri, it's a big rivalry game for both these programs. It's going to be a big game.
But this one had a little something extra.
To come up here, last regular season game, with a conference championship on the line, playoff seedings on the line.
The Gorillas came in hungry, chasing a 9th straight win and a share of the MIAA title. But Pitt State stumbled out of the gate.
They came out and they hit us in the mouth there early. You have no choice there but to respond.
The Bearcats capped off an 80-yard drive with a touchdown in the opening minutes, then forced a PSU 3-and-out.
When we get big plays like that, we just know to go back to the basics. A lot of times, if you look at our plays, it's not that someone beat us, it's just that, we kind of beat ourselves.
Everything was lining up for Northwest Missouri until the Gorillas flipped a switch. It started with a forced fumble. Then the offense found its rhythm. And before the Bearcats knew what hit them, the Gorillas led 24-7 at halftime.
We really pride our defenses on takeaways, and so when we get one, we know there's blood in the water, and so we're ready to go and attack.
The defense handled the rest, holding Northwest Missouri to just 7 more points in the 27-14 win. A fitting send-off for an incredible regular season.
because of that success and because of that history, because of the amazing coaches and players that have come through both programs. For us to meet final regular season game with all that stuff on the line, I think makes that pretty cool.
The win gives the Gorillas a share of the MIAA crown, but more importantly, a home playoff game.
I could talk for hours just about this group, man, and just how special they are. 2 games into the season, sitting at 0-2, they didn't bat an eye.
Saturday, the Gorillas aim to keep their magical season alive, hosting Chadron State in the jungle.
Kickoff between the Gorillas and Chadron State at Carney Smith Stadium is set for 1 p.m. Saturday. But today, we received more good news out of Pittsburgh. Gorillas senior quarterback Jackson Berry is named MIAA Offensive Player of the Week for the 2nd straight time. He threw for over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Bearcats. Well, earlier today, the Pitt State soccer team anxiously gathered in John Lantz Arena to watch the NCAA selection show. BSU failed to capture an at-large bid, but finished the regular season as MIAA champs. And after a few minutes of waiting, the Gorillas received great news. They're heading to the national tournament in only their 2nd year as a program.
It was incredible to see the girls because, even at practice this week, you could tell there's a little bit just anxiousness, just waiting to see because they felt like they deserved it. And the committee agreed, which is awesome for us.
I was so nervous. I was shaking a little bit, kind of excited for what could come. And then, it ended up being good, so I was excited.
Shocked. I stayed in place. I didn't really celebrate it, but I was so excited. I'm really proud of everyone.
The Gorillas head to Bemidji, Minnesota to take on St. Cloud State on Friday.
Well, it's a really great Monday for Pitt State with, football doing so well and the soccer team doing so well. It's pretty awesome.
Great week to be a Gorilla. Great week for football. I can't wait for their playoff game on Saturday, and I wish I could go to Pitt State Soccer's playoff game on Friday. So it's going to be a really two-day stretch. Hopefully they come out with both 2 wins.
I know, all the way in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Well, good luck, girls. That's for sure.
Bundle up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's probably going to be cold up there. All right, we're back with more news.